Welcome to the Witching Hour Podcast, your home for horror. Keep it evil.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Witching Hour Podcast. I am your host, as you recognize. I am still John Royceland. Sorry about your luck. But with that being said, I do have a new friend, one that I'm very happy to have on the show tonight. You heard me talking about a week ago. One of my latest features that I watched that I was laughing hysterically about throughout the film, Sanguine Teeth on a Driftless Road, writer, director, and co-star of the film, Mr. Austin Galante, is here with me. He's the actual good-looking one on the film or on the screen right now that isn't wasting all of his breath talking to you guys. So, Austin, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Not too bad. Just been working in front of the computer all day, so you
Just
know, nice.
staying out of the cold. I'm imagining I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Maryland, and we are still thawing our asses out from. We got about 8 to 10 inches of snow, and then we got sleet and freezing rain to weight it all down. Now, you're a Wisconsin man, so I'm sure you're probably laughing at me and you're more used to it than I am. I love the snow personally. But how'd you guys survive? Because, I mean, everybody just got their asses handed to them this season.
Uh, I don't know. I've been inside most of the
Not
time.
outside playing, are we?
No, I've been editing a new movie, so I've just been doing like 8, 9, 10 hour days for the last, I don't know, 2.5, 3 months, something. Um,
Well, you're talking about a new film. Is that, I was actually going to ask you about that. Is that What We Have Won by chance?
well, what have we won? Yeah,
Is it? That's what you're working on right now.
yeah.
I am actually very excited to see that, and I'm was actually going to ask you to kindly put me on the list to see that. So how's that one going?
Pretty funny.
Are you no? So are you? Is that still in production? Are you kind of
Uh,
editing things that you have, or is that a wrap on it?
um, Everything is shot. Except there may be one shot of a car that I may still get. I don't know. But other than that, everything's shot. I'm just doing all the post work now. Probably
Okay.
got another 4 months worth of that to do. So um I've edited the first one. It's actually two movies. It's gonna be two movies because um if I didn't, it would be over 3 hours.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
I kind of learned my lesson from Sanguine Teeth on.
Really?
I mean, everybody goes like, "Oh, 2 hours," like,
And I said the same thing, but man, you made it work. I mean, did you get negative feedback on that one though?
I mean, film
As far
festivals
as the time as
they
far
won't
as time went.
film festivals won't play it because they're like, "Well, shit, that takes up a whole day,"
Yeah, all
like.
right, I see that.
Um, so, I don't know how many film festivals I'll actually submit this to, but I just a lot of people, I heard it from a number of reviewers and stuff. They were all like, "Eee, two
Yeah,
2 hours." They were all apprehensive, right? Like they didn't want to watch it because they thought like, "Geez, I'm not going to sit through 2 hours of an indie movie."
right.
So I just figured, all right, let's split this one up. That
Hey, there's
and
nothing
it was
wrong with
kind of
that.
and it was kind of originally written like that because um I, I was sort of trying to help a friend out and help him produce a film and then also produce one at the same time. Because a friend of mine out in Montana was trying to get me to submit to their grant proposal, the Blue Sky grant out there, and we did. Um, he was wanting me to go through his production company that he has out there, and then we would write it and come and he would help produce some. But anyways, I was trying to help my friend by saying like, hey, we can write something, like come up with an idea, and then we'll put it together, and then you can write your script and I'll write, mine or whatever, and it'll be a one and a two kind of thing. But then partway through, he decided he didn't really want to be responsible for everything that,
Oof.
came along with, anyway, so I ended up buying the script from him because I had already helped him out with getting a location that allowed us to shoot like 20 pages of the script, of his script. And so I was like, man, I don't want to just like, and this story wouldn't make as much sense either. Cause like, no, I
Right.
came up with a big, um, story arc for this thing. And, you start halfway through, it kind of becomes like, well, this is weird, right? Like, so anyways, I ended up just buying the script. And, so then shot them both, and we, now I'm, doing the post work on them, but I'm done with editing the first one, and I'm at the point of almost being done with scoring. I think in the next week I'll probably have it done. Then I got to
Wow.
do captions and posters and all that fun stuff. So
Nice. And this is starring Robert Lasardo, correct?
yeah,
Nice.
he is in it. He's not in this one as much as he is the second one,
Okay.
because it's an adventure. We end up moving across the country, and so, anyways, he's uh, sort of comes in later, and then he's in the
Gotcha.
second one a lot more.
Gotcha.
Uh, so yeah, I'm me and Matt Kenner are the leads in this one.
Okay. Okay. So you're stealing Matthew from Sanguine Teeth and putting him into these ones. Okay. I tell you what, man, he did a great job. Hands down. Seriously, congratulations. I don't care if it was 2 hours, 20 minutes, or 3 hours long. I sincerely enjoyed and did not think if anybody out there that watches this has any issues with long films that might be connected to any film circuits. I understand, you got schedules, time slots per movie. I get that.
Yeah.
But boys and girls, I told you during my review of Sanguine Teeth on a Driftless Road, 2 hours flew by. 2 hours, and I think it was 8 minutes exactly, if I'm not mistaken. It was just a hair over. But man, it is such an enjoyable film. And I want to know where you came up with the concept for this, just a guy's weekend, and the guys just happen to be vampires.
Uh, well, I mean, like sort of brainstorming ideas, I guess, and wanted to kind of do like so. When I'm writing, a lot of things will hinge upon, okay, what do I have access to, right? And so I was like, all right, I have access to this cabin. What could I do that would be, you know, different than they show up and get eaten by, monsters.
Right, right.
So, anyways, yeah, I was kind of like, what if I, had vampires go on a trip to cabin, and then several of my friends are like Juan, he played Alamo. He's one of my best friends. We've been friends for 30 years or something. Um, Matt is a good friend of mine. We've done a ton of films together. And so initially I was trying to decide because at first I thought maybe I would have Doug Montoya. Also, he played Dongle Man, the homeless guy.
Hmm.
Uh, I thought maybe I might have him be a vampire, because it was like, so when I'm building it, I'm going like, okay, what actors do I have that I would like to use, and like, how am I going to arrange them or where am I going to put them? And so I wasn't 100% sure if it was just going to, be all black vampires, but Juan's cousin is Lavelle Crawford, and so he reached out to him to see if he would play. Ugh, I'm blanking now. Ricky Pete. And so, I wrote the part for him, and then he read the script, and for whatever reason, he decided he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I can take several guesses. One of them probably being money, but so then I had to find someone to play. But anyways, so I was like, okay, well, I've got essentially I had three black vampires,
Mhm.
out the gate, and I was like, all right, so I can either have one rando, or I can just be like, all right, I got like four black friends, and they're gonna, you know what I mean? So I just ended up doing that, and then writing around, got cast myself as the bad guy, and because I wanted to act in it, so I just decided that would be a fun thing to do, and
I think it was
um,
great, honestly. I mean, I honestly, I can't speak for you, but I can just see how fluid the guys work together. It was like they were honestly four old vampire buddies getting together year after year after year. Even from the point of stopping at the grocery store, the convenience store, and just helping each other apply sun lotion and stuff like that. And I mean, I am cracking up at this stuff and the diversity amongst the three of them, all different lifestyles, but yet you just made it work and it was perfect. And I think using one specific ethnic group made it that much more in depth because I I don't want this to come across wrong. You get four ethnic people, two ethnic people, three, a group of them together, the conversations hold different than a mix of people.
sure,
They
yeah,
really do. You could have had four Hispanics, four Asians. They're going to have different stories to tell about history, about generations
right.
than a white guy, a black guy, a Mexican guy. They'll tell stories, but they're not going to be understandable as well as it would if it's in unity, if that makes sense.
Um, yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe yes and no. Like, um, a bunch of the guys that are in the movie are, have been friends of mine for like 25, 30, maybe, yes, maybe longer.
Hmm.
Um, the guy in the car scene or whatever at the beginning, like him and I have been friends since we were 12. So like, I think when people are just comfortable with each other, they they have whatever conversations. But I do see what you're saying, as far
I
as
mean,
like in a lot of circumstances,
right.
there's
Obviously, on the other side, everyone can see from different points of view if there is diversity also.
right.
So I don't know. I hope I didn't put my foot too far into my mouth there. It worked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, quite a few of the like interactions and things like that are like things that the conversations I've had, right? Like,
mhm.
in with people. Um, so, it's like sort of writing from a place of being in that group to a degree, right? Like, um, just because like, I've been in all sorts of circumstances and seen and dealt with and like, like some of the things where things are not good and so forth. And um it's sort of like there's some life experiences in there that I've dealt with, even though I'm not,
Right.
I'm still witnessing, but being in the circumstance,
Sure.
um so yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring a big dramatic pause or anything of that nature. So I see that you have done a lot of work with a lot of music videos as well.
Yeah, I've done quite a few.
So tell me a little bit about your background as far as getting into the industry. Um, Formally educated, just got lucky one day, or tell us a little bit about about how you become who you are today.
Uh, I s- I would say I started doing music when I was probably like 12 or 13 or something, but not, like, um, not like anything professional, right? Like just playing around and trying to make music or whatever, and then ended up uh, getting in a rap group with a bunch of rappers that Juan had put together, and did that for quite a while. And then Juan and I ended up moving to another city, and we put together a band, and we played in a band. We traveled all over the country, touring, so we did a lot of uh, shows, and we made some music videos for that, for that band.
Mhm.
And then we moved out to LA. We did that for a while. That was kind of crushing because it's so expensive, and like everybody's trying to figure out how to live.
That's the
And
rat race right there, isn't it, out there?
right, and it's so expensive, and not everybody's got the best situation for paying bills, and
Right.
some people ended up just being like, man, I can't survive and play shows, because out there, like, unless you're huge, it's pay to play. So
Right.
unless you went to high school there and you've got like a bunch of people that have known you for a long time, and because you have to sell tickets, like you don't get any money, and then the venue takes, I don't know if it's like the first it depends on the venue, right? Like they take the first 20 tickets, and then
Right.
after that you get half or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's relatively similar, I think, in most venues, which is pretty messed up, I think. But um, so it's slowly kind of started to fall apart. Band members moved back, and then we got new band members, and we did it for quite a while, 6 years or something, and we made a few music videos out there. And I started because I wanted to act for a long time, and so I started auditioning when I moved out there, and um, I don't know, just doing random stuff, extra work, and once in a while I'd get something interesting. And so I was sort of watching, that, like how, because I got to be on a lot of big lots and see a lot of cool things, and how professionals are making $20 million movies or whatever, like,
Right.
um, and just seeing what's happening, and how they're doing a lot of stuff. And so that was helpful, to learn, kind of, even though like I was absolutely nobody and nobody cared. And um, it was worthwhile, right? Like it was a learning experience to build off of. And
Sure.
um, ended up moving again. Uh, and then I started producing and working on my own music. Um, just so then I was like, I had some rough ideas of how I had been producing stuff for myself, learning how to do that for a while, and then I moved, and I kept doing that, and I released a few albums and shot some music videos for that. And so that was extremely helpful because I was learning how to do film stuff without such a risky, because like making a movie's extreme in a lot of ways, like depending on how it's done, it's extremely risky. There's a lot of moving parts. There's generally a
Sure.
significant amount of money, and
Right.
um learning all the mistakes, and how to use equipment, how to set things up. And so that was really how, I mean, I don't think I would have ever been able to make that movie if I hadn't shot so many other little things beforehand, because I had dealt with people not showing up. I had dealt with, equipment breaking and not having enough batteries, whatever, all this shit that
Take the
comes
good with the
along.
bad and write your book for it. Sure.
Yeah. So I was able, like I'm able to cover any base that needs to be covered. If a sound guy gets fucking flu that day, I can
Right.
I can run sound if I have to,
Right.
Um, so and then sometimes, like when I'm shooting stuff, even with that movie, I would I might be the only crew shooting the scene,
Right.
just because it save me a bunch of money, right? Like, I mean, it was already extraordinarily expensive, and so like anytime I can figure out where, okay, can I do this? Is this a small enough scene, and can I like just go shoot this and then save my money for a bigger scene where there's a lot more going on and I need extra hands and I need, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So, um, yeah, it's just been like a slow, long learning experience of figuring out how to do things and, um, you know,
Right. Well, congratulations. No, seriously. I'm sorry. I was actually kind of getting enthralled in your journey, your story of your journey, just because it seriously interests me. It really does. I've been in one small film about 5, 6 years ago, and it was the writer, director, co-star. Her name was added to everything,
right.
and it was her first go around, and there was a lot to learn: rights, wrongs, do's, don'ts, everything. And it really inspired me, and it scares the shit out of me. I have since come home and wrote a small short that I am definitely afraid to take that step with. Of course, I don't have gear. I don't have any of that stuff. It would be my first live and learn as well, just as everybody else did.
Yeah.
But so hearing you talk about it is scary as hell, but it's actually very inspiring. And, having seen Sanguine Teeth, it's congratulatory, because I've
Appreciate it.
seen your work. You've obviously lived it, you learned it, you remembered do's and don'ts, and you've got a final project, a over 2 hour long final project at that, so it's I think you definitely deserve the pat on the back for that. I really do.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely suggests to anybody who wants to make a movie. I say shoot some shorts first, shoot
Mhm.
something, music video, maybe that's not your cup of tea, but do some film work that is like less where there's less of like if it falls apart, you're not gonna lose 20,000. You know what I mean? Because like all sorts of shit can happen. The actors can drop out in the middle or
Right.
part way through, or you know what I mean? Like there's just so much stuff that can go wrong that
Well, so speaking of which, you're jumping up the cruise ship to a higher deck level, let's say, and you've got a name coming on. You've got Robert Lasardo. Everybody knows that face. Everybody knows the tattoos, the look, and I mean, he's making hand over fist movie after movie after movie. Now, I don't know what his rates are. I don't know if I have dealt with a couple SAG actors, and they have kind of told me different stories about different kind of rates, and you can look it up online, and they get X amount a day plus this plus that plus this plus that, whatever. Taking that jump, did that worry you?
uh I mean, there's always a worry, right? Like there's always a little bit of a worry.
Sure. I mean, because
I
that's like
mean,
its own bank account right there, just for that person.
yeah,
Whatever their demands might be on top of X amount of dollars a day, or for the whole shoot, whatever they're involved in, for this much money, plus airfare, plus hotel accommodations, a ride to and from. Yeah, you got
yeah,
to start doing that, bringing out the adding machine, and it adds up fast. Is all I'm getting to. And I don't want to
yeah.
make you worry, obviously, because I know you've got everything under control. But was that something that at first you're kind of like, "Holy shit, how am I going to do all this?"
Not really. Um, I don't know. Because I've done enough things for so long. I'm not. I don't. I don't really get nervous, I guess. Like I'm constantly trying to figure out the backfill, the problem solve, like what I'm gonna have to do if something goes wrong, and like shit does go wrong. How do I change this to fit and so forth? So I mean, something's always gonna go wrong.
Hmm.
But as far as that goes, I mean, it's just another expense. Like you're just figuring out like, is this an expense that I can take on for this project or whatever? And
Sure. Okay.
I wish I had a bigger budget because it'd be awesome to work with.
Uh,
Uh,
obviously, I can. Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. Yeah.
how every director feels, I'm sure, no matter what, the entire time they're alive.
Right. Right. Hey, and I apologize for bouncing back and forth. I keep running back to your future projects, and obviously, I'm still trying to um, wanting to help promote Sanguine Teeth on a Driftless Road, which is on Fossum.
Yeah,
Can people get hard copies, physical media copies from you at all, or is there some place where they can pick them up?
not not yet. I I ended up with the the next two movies that I shot. I ended up going right into them. Like I was doing pre-production on those, and actually, I think shooting. I was shooting while I was doing post-production on Sanguine Teeth because my friend had said like, "Hey, let's do this thing here, with the grant or whatever." And I only had a certain amount of time. And he had said, like, I'm not going to do it this year. I might do it next year. So you could, go through my production company. And so, like, I felt like, well, it's either try it now or don't, right? Like, because he may be wanting to do it again,
Right.
in the near future. And then that opportunity won't be there for that. So, um, I kind of just jumped right into it, which meant that, my money got sucked into that. Um, yeah. uh, what was the question again?
That's a good one. No,
Yeah.
physical media.
Oh, physical media. Yeah,
Yep.
no. So no, I never had the money to print, um, DVDs because I went right into shooting two more movies. I would
Is
like
that something
to.
that you would be wanting to do yourself, or is that something you're looking to possibly pick up distribution on?
I mean, I,
I guess
I mean,
maybe it depends on if the contract is right.
I suppose if there was a distributor that wanted to do DVDs, I probably would be on board with it. The distributor I currently have is just streaming, so
Okay.
um, I would like to, print some. I've done a lot of, in the past, like selling physical media CDs and stuff over the years, being in a band, and it's like,
That's
it's a
right.
lot, it's a lot of work and like trying to get them to people. And I mean, you pretty much have to attend a lot of festivals and stuff like that, and that can be
Right.
expensive and time consuming, and kind of like one guy who's also doing all these other things. So it's a really big challenge for me at this point to try and go do a bunch of conventions and continue working on all this stuff. But I'd like to
Sure.
have some DVDs that I could, sell. I've got a lot of money to go other places at the moment. So
Sure. No, I definitely can appreciate that. I mean, everything is streaming nowadays. I just know that, especially it seems in the horror industry, um, people love to own
yeah,
that one copy because everything is indie. So,
right,
you can go and buy, a Friday the 13th at fucking Walmart probably. Well, yeah, I know you can. But it's a rarity because it's an indie film and it's not going to be sold in all the stores across America. So to get your
right,
hands on it is kind of rare.
right.
And you'll see even some people, well, I only pressed 1,000 copies or
Yeah,
500 and they'll call it limited. Is it that
right,
hard to make more of them? I don't know. Is it that expensive? Again, I don't know. But they love having physical media in in the horror industry. And yes, and I can definitely see what you're talking about, being on hand in a convention, because
Yeah.
people want to talk to you about it, get your signature on it, get it in hand, and they love that.
I definitely think at some point I will have physical media, but
Hmm.
at the moment I just don't have the funds to do it because I bit off more than I can chew.
I mean, hey, going from finishing one film and overlaying that with, with a two-parter all at the same time, I commend you on that. And if someone were to give you shit about, you know, what do you mean I can't get a DVD for it? Well, I think they're going to be just fine. Don't even worry about that. We have a couple minutes left. I would like to ask, is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss, name drop, promote? I want to put you on the spotlight for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I hope people go check it out. It's on Fossum right now. I think it's on a couple other streaming services. It should be on Tubi in March, is what Tubi said. So there'll be a few places for people to watch it. Hopefully, it'll get a lot of eyeballs on Tubi. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, the more and more I get back onto Facebook every day on social media, I see Tubi's name everywhere. People are bringing up movies, to watch and suggesting it. So I definitely, I'm glad to hear that it's actually coming on the Tubi. I've been going there more and more myself. They've just been gathering a lot more films and a lot more
Yeah,
quality films, in
yeah.
my opinion. So I'm thrilled to hear that it's going there.
Yeah, I've been checking some films out on Tubi too, including, like indie films of people that I know that are making movies because it's always interesting to see like what, they're doing. And
Hmm.
I like to keep kind of an eye out for like, oh, who can do lighting, and you know what I mean, whatever. It's
Sure.
just good to know some of that stuff. I mean, that's
Right.
why I like going to film festivals sometimes, is to see who did that. Maybe they'd be interested in working together sometime, right?
All
So,
about networking. Sure. Well, excuse me, Austin, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I'm surprised your eyes are even open because, I mean, you've just been nonstop. And here it is. Now you're working on on a two-part film after just having released Sanguine Teeth. Um, so I'm surprised that your eyes are still open. You're able to even talk and function at this point. I am definitely anxious for the film coming up. What we have won. Congratulations on Sanguine Teeth on a Driftless Road. Boys and girls, please check it out. Folsom coming on to Tubi hopefully next month in March. It is a laugh out loud um, horror comedy. Um, the delivery from the actors is spot on perfect. And that includes you yourself. The direction that you had and the delivery of many of your lines just had me kind of, if I had a drink, I was spitting it out. Honestly, it was perfect. It was something I really needed. And the storyline, in my opinion, was really something original, something fresh. And I really, really hope the fans go out, check it out, and enjoy it just as much as I did.
yeah, I'm really grateful for all the actors in the movie because they did a great job. I watch a lot of indie movies, and I feel like the the relationship, like the relationship, the acting, the back and forth, and how well they did at making it feel natural and
Bounced it right
funny.
off of each other, and that was what was perfect. It
Yeah,
really was. So honestly, congratulations on a job well done to you and the entire crew. I think everybody did a great job. Job well done with
thanks.
that. So I definitely look forward to more work coming up. Please, anytime you want to stop back by the show, update us on the films, on the progress. I would love to have you back on.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Boys and girls, Austin Galante, Sanguine Teeth on a Driftless Road. Definitely check it out. Keep an eye on this man. He's got a double feature coming up soon. And if he's awake to finish them in the future, I'm just teasing about that. Boys and girls, please hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you all We actually blew we didn't blow it, but we broke the 1,000 subscriber mark this weekend. So thank you to all of you.
Yay.
I really appreciate that. You guys are making it really worth all the while, and I will see you guys soon. As always, remember, please keep it evil.